Hello everyone, welcome back. We have seen a lot about the testng and testng annotations. It's very important to do some practice with the testng annotations, and we don't need all of them. Just make sure that you understand what is before method, what is after method, what is before suite, and what is after suite. That's more than enough because that's what we're going to use. And in today's video, we will understand how we can use downcasting, how people have used downcasting in a real world, right, with the help of Selenium. So we learned about downcasting and upcasting. Hopefully you guys will remember about it, where we typecasted an animal reference to dog reference so that we can access the methods. The same thing we are going to understand with the help of Selenium 4. We are going to understand with the help of Selenium architecture, right? And we'll also going to understand how we can do the scrolling down operation in terms of browsers. For example, let's say you are in Amazon site and you want to click some element in the footer section, right? And you want to click, let's say you want to click this Facebook or something like about us or careers page, right? So you have to scroll down and click it. So if you try to directly inspect this element and try to click on it, it won't work. Okay, so by default, what are the elements that are displayed in this particular view will be able to click. Otherwise, if you have to scroll down and then you have to click, you won't have that particular option available in Selenium. Okay, some websites automatically do the scrolling for you, but in most of the websites the scrolling will not happen automatically. You have to write some code to scroll and then click on it. All right, for example, let's assume that we want to click this about us. Okay, let's do an inspect, and this is a very simple a tag with about us, right? So I can basically write an XPath, say a text, right? And let's copy this, right? And let's go here and maybe we will create a new stuff. Uh, let's say testing G, and I'll create it as new class. Scroll down demo or scroll demo test. Okay, whatever. And yeah, we'll create a test method, public void. This is scroll test, whatever. Okay, and we will cut paste some of the code from the existing ones. Okay, so this is what we need, and yeah, so this is private web driver, right? And instead of this, I actually want to open, let's say, Amazon.in, right? And yeah, once I do this, driver dot find elements by dot xpath, and this is the xpath. Sorry, control. Yeah, so this is the xpath, and what I want to do, I want to do the clicking, right? So let's see whether this is working before we try to do some other operation. Okay. Oh, it also got scrolled. Strange. Um, so in Amazon, it is getting scrolled. I don't know which website should I take, because normally it won't get scrolled. Okay, let's assume this didn't scrolled and then clicked it for you. Okay, maybe I should have got a good example, but yeah, just imagine that it is not scrolling and then it is showing you with no elements, no such element exception or something like that. Okay, in those cases you want to scroll down. Okay, so what are the different ways of scrolling down? Again, we already seen about actions class. Using that actions class, we can able to do move to element and then click on it. This is one of the way. And then there is one more way where you can directly inject JavaScript commands. Okay. So Selenium has an interface called as JavaScript executor. Okay, this particular interface will have a methods to directly execute the JavaScript commands. So basically, your whatever the Selenium commands they have clicked, they have used, find element, the click, and all that, right? They might be internally having a JavaScript command to get executed in the browser. Okay, so if you are finding it little difficult, doing the clicking operation and all that, for every operation you do with Selenium, you can do the same with the help of JavaScript executor. Okay, you can do click using JavaScript executor. We can use send keys using JavaScript executor. We can select a drop down value from JavaScript executor. So everything is possible. But in our ways, so we don't have problems with clicking send keys and all, but we need to do the scrolling, right? To do the scrolling, we have to use JavaScript executor. This is the the interface what I'm speaking about. And what you need to do, you need to do the casting. Okay, so like this. Okay, okay, you need to do like this. So we have already seen where we have done this. We have used inheritance, right? We have used inheritance where in the inheritance demo as well, we would have used this. So in the inheritance test, see, we are doing this type casting. So we have animal reference type. Okay, and then we are converting this to dog reference type. Okay, we have an animal reference type of dog. This gets converted to this particular class, dog class, because we want to call more specific method called a bark. Okay, the same way here also we are doing that. Okay, we are converting a reference type of WebDriver. See, we have a reference type of WebDriver, but we are for some time we are converting into JavaScript executor reference type, so that I can access all the methods inside this particular interface. Example, if I go inside this, you have execute script and execute async script. So we have two methods which we can use to execute our JavaScript commands. So the name itself is telling JavaScript executor, which means it helps you to execute the JavaScript commands directly. Okay, let's go there and let's type JavaScript executor dot execute script. That's fine, but I don't know the script. Okay, again, this memorizing this is really difficult. So what I have done, I have already copied this. Okay, so I want to scroll down now, right? So maybe I'll use this. Okay, I'll explain what is this, guys. Okay, uh, okay. Now this is what we are telling. We are telling whatever the window you have, that doesn't matter. Okay, you scroll by in the x-axis. You don't have to slide into the x-axis. X-axis remains the same, but in the y-axis you scroll by 600 pixels, right? That's what we are telling. So what it'll do, if it is here, it will scroll by 600 pixels like this. Okay, so this is what it'll do, but this is a hard coded scroll down. So guys, please go on mute, guys. This is becoming yeah. So this is hard coded scroll down. So in x-axis, so first we have the x-axis which remains very unchanged, and in the y-axis we are changing 600. So which means it will scroll down by 600. Okay, let's assume I'm not doing the clicking operation. Let's just check whether this is scrolling down. Okay, again, to see whether this is working fine, so I'll do a thread.sleep for 5 seconds so that we can see what's happening. Okay, now let me try to run this. See, if you guys notice, there is a scrolling happened here. Okay, I hope you all have seen. So if you notice, this has scrolled. Okay, instead of here, it has scrolled somewhere around here, right? So it has scrolled by 600 pixels. Again, it varies in terms of your screen resolution. If you're using a bigger monitor, it would have scrolled very little because the pixels again matters there. So yeah, so this is one of the ways where you can directly do this hard coded scrolling, but this might not be really working because if the element is not visible, okay, in a small monitor, suppose for example I'm just running now in my laptop, which is just 13 inches. Okay, what it happens, it scrolls no so much, right? Because 600 pixels is very big here, so it will scroll till here. But if you are in a different machine that having a monitor like 32 inches, 40 inches, then it will scroll very little, right? So yeah, so based upon that, this is not a good reliable approach. We cannot directly use hard coded approaches like this, but just get to know we have option like this. The second option, if you want to scroll down till the end, so this is another way where you can scroll till the end. Okay, so you don't have to memorize this. Even I don't know all these things. Okay, you just create one wrapper method and then use it. Okay, if somebody is asking what is happening, then you can tell, hey, window, I want to scroll the window. In the x-axis is 0, but in the y-axis I want to scroll till the scroll height, which means till the bottom of the page. Okay, so let's see whether this is working. So even I don't memorize this. Okay, I only understand what this JavaScript command will do. Okay, so if somebody is asking you in an interview how you scroll down, okay, you just tell them, okay, I will use JavaScript executor interface, I execute script method, and then I will scroll down. If they ask you, so if you notice it has scroll down here. If they ask you write the exact code, tell them, okay, I don't memorize all these things because this is not at all needed. Okay, now we have scrolled till here. Again, suppose for example the element what we are looking for is not in the bottom of the page. Okay, and it's somewhere lying in between, so somewhere around here it is there. Okay, maybe I want to check everyday essentials that you might like. Okay, something like this. Okay, you don't know how much you have to scroll. Okay, because in big screen it can scroll, you may use 300 pixels. In smaller screens you want to scroll 1300. So this is not a reliable approach. Okay, you don't know which exact pixels you have to give. So in those cases there is again another JavaScript command that tells you can scroll till the web elements. Okay, for example, maybe I'll just copy only the arguments here. So again, this is the another one. Mhm. Yeah. So in this element, right? So we need to pass the element to which I want to scroll. So let's say I want to scroll till some element. Okay, I need to give the web element there. Okay, maybe I'll use the about us itself, right? So instead of clicking on it, okay, what I do, I will basically make it as a web element. Now whatever the element is here, I am just telling, okay, hey, you execute a JavaScript that scroll into view. Okay, it will scroll until it finds this particular web element. Okay, so the arguments of 0 indicates if there are multiple elements that are matching this locating strategy, then you choose the 0th one, something like this. Okay, which means if you find lot of elements, find the 0th element and then scroll till it becomes view. Okay, so this is more reliable because it doesn't matter what screen size you use. We are not hard coding any pixels here. It will scroll until it becomes visible. Okay, this is more better approach, right? So let's try to see whether this is working fine. So again, guys, this also have worked. Okay, it has scrolled until it find about us. Okay, so if you notice, this about us is here. Good. So yeah, this is the three different scrolling things. Okay, JavaScript executor can also do a lot of things. Okay, it doesn't mean it can only help you to scroll, but it can also do clicking as well. So for example, this is the command that you can use to click on an element. Okay, so so basically instead of this, you can just tell click. click. Okay, so this is a command. Okay, now what it'll do, it'll find this element and then it'll click on it. Okay, we are not using a click method directly, we're using a JavaScript executor. Guys, this click method might really help you, because in some websites, when you are trying to do the clicking via Selenium click method, it might not work. Okay, you will get some interrupted element, not interactable exception, something like that. Okay, so in those cases, you can also try with JavaScript executor. Again, you will learn all these things while you try different websites. Okay, that's the reason I'm telling, go and try different websites. You can understand what I'm speaking here. Guys, notice it also have clicked it. This time we have not used the click method from the Selenium. We have used the JavaScript executor click. Okay, good. Now, apart from this, it can also help you to create JavaScript pop-ups and all that. Okay, for example, let's say uh, I copy pasted this from another website. So yeah, so I want to create an alert. Okay, let's say after clicking on this, or maybe I'll copy the entire. Okay, now once you are done with this, okay, now we want to create a pop-up. We are going to create a pop-up. Okay, let's say I want to apply the dot sleep again, maybe for 5 seconds. Okay, I will reduce this to 2 seconds. Let's see what kind of pop-up it creates. So what we are telling, okay, you try to create a web pop-up with the text as this. Let's see what's happening. So we are directly injecting JavaScript commands. See guys, if you notice, welcome to testing many bytes. So this is a text we have given. So it has actually created a pop-up for us. Okay, this is how simple it is. If you want to create a pop-up, you can do like this. Okay, now in some cases you may end up getting this pop-up in your real websites. Okay, in those cases, how you can handle this? Okay, we will also cover that today. So if you see something like this is called as a web browser pop-up. Okay, this is a browser pop-up and it's very specific to each browsers. The layout may vary depending upon whether you are using Chrome, Firefox and all that, but handling them is all same. Okay, to handle it, you sometimes you will have only OK button, sometimes you will have OK and cancel, something like that. Okay, sometimes you want to fetch the text whatever it is present here, something like this. Okay, you want to do some weird operations like this. Okay, in those cases, how will we handle this? Okay, so if I try to right click, okay, it is not able to do it. So we cannot do it, right? You cannot basically inspect this. Okay, we can inspect here. Okay, I don't know why it's not working, but yeah, you cannot inspect there. In the pop-up you cannot inspect. Okay, so in those cases what you can do, like you have something option like, okay, driver dot switch to, okay, you have to switch to that particular alert. Okay, so if you notice, I'm just switching to that particular alert. Okay, and then what I want to do, suppose you want to accept it, which means you want to click on OK, call this accept method. If you want to do the dismiss, which means you want to cancel that, okay, you don't want to acknowledge it, then you can call this dismiss method. Sometimes you will have a text box. Okay, in those cases you can use send keys and then send the values to it. But now what I want to do is I want to first get the text. Okay, and I want to do the printing. Once I do this, I also want to switch to alert dot accept, because I want to accept the pop-up, right? So I want to accept in the internet dot sleep to 2000, right? So let's see what's happening. Okay, so if you want to handle those alerts, you cannot inspect this. Okay, if you right click and click on inspect, you won't see that option. So you cannot find an element, you cannot do the clicking of the OK button and all. So that's a pop-up, you cannot do that. So in those cases, you have to switch to that alert and then get the text. Okay, let's try to run it. So if you notice, after some time, it basically accept that pop-up. So if you notice, the OK button is now clicked. Your test is also getting passed, and we should also see the text that we're trying to get from the pop-up. So this is the text that was in the pop-up, and it's getting printed. Okay, so using this switch to, you can switch to different alert and then get the text. You want to do send keys, you can do it. Want to accept the pop-up, call accept method. If you want to dismiss the pop-up, you can call dismiss method. Any doubts in this so far in using the JavaScript executor?
So more than 20 things, what are you doing? Did you create that?
20?
8.
Yeah, 28th line, I'm creating the pop-up myself.
Okay. In
Okay.
real time, where do we use it?
See, we don't use it, okay, because I don't have a website that creates pop-up. Okay, I
Oh,
cannot create a website, right? So I basically used this little tweaking and then created a new alert. Okay, to explain how this switch to alert
yeah,
and
okay.
this thing works. Okay,
Okay.
so
Thank
with
you.
with the power of execute script, you can do whatever the JavaScript command you want to do, even like creating a pop-up. So okay, you can think like this, but you will not create a pop-up in real time, that we won't do. Okay, so in websites they will automatically create it. At the time you have to use switch to that alert and then accept it or dismiss it or get the text, whatever.
Okay.
Any other doubts from anyone?
Hi, Amutan Jitesh.
Yes, yes.
On line number 26, can you just explain me what exactly that argument zero dot click means? What exactly that syntax means, the meaning or that definition of that syntax is?
Okay, so let's go here. Okay, do you
Hmm.
understand this one?
Yeah,
This one.
yeah.
So this will scroll, this is the x-axis is 0, y-axis. Here we are giving pixels. Here we are telling whatever may be the scroll height, you scroll till the bottom of
Mm-hmm.
it. Okay, so that's a variable.
Mm-hmm.
So it will scroll till the bottom. And here, what we are telling, hey, whatever the web element you are going to pass, so this is the argument of 0. Okay, so this is the first argument to this,
Okay.
okay, method. So let's go to the JavaScript executor. So if you notice, I haven't covered what is string arguments or object arguments. Where there is some concept called as variable arguments, which means even though it looks like a string, this is the first one. So the first argument for this method is string variable. So that is what we are giving here. Okay, this is the first one. But whatever you can pass multiple things here. Okay, element one, element two, all that. Okay, this is because it is a, see, object dot dot dot, which means it indirectly implies you can pass object array.
Mm.
Object array. Okay, so which means you can pass multiple arguments here. So in that, you choose the zeroth one, whatever the zeroth arguments you are passing. I'm going to scroll that into the view. Okay, the same way you can pass multiple arguments here. In that, I'm going to pick the first argument, that is zeroth argument, and then do a click. Okay, to explain this, maybe what I can do, I should to explain the variable arguments. Okay, what is that? Okay, variable arguments. Okay, somebody's wondering what is this. Okay, let's zoom in a little bit and let's assume I have public add method. So add int a comma int b. Okay, and this is gonna do a plus b. Okay, and I also have public void add again int a, int b, sometimes int c as well. Okay, A plus B plus C. Okay. And sometimes, the number of values you want to sum will be 4. Okay, so you will do what you will do. You will create one more add method, and then you will pass A plus B plus C plus D. Okay, and then there is one more thing. Okay, int A, B, C, D, E. Okay, let's say you want to sum 100 numbers. Will you create a add method that takes in 100 parameters? No, right? There should be some meaningful approach, right? In those
Mm.
cases, what people normally does, um, they will have a method called as add that takes in integer array. Okay, so you pass me array of integers. Okay, if you pass me array of integers, okay, I will iterate one by one. Okay, for I, okay, a dot length. Okay, and then I'll do s out of, let's say, I will have int sum equal to first 0. Okay, and once I run this, just a minute. So I'll have initially the sum value as 0. So every time what I will do, I will initialize sum equal to sum plus a of I. So, so you can understand this code, right? So if somebody is passing me lot of numbers, what I will do, I will iterate one by one. Okay, let's say, hey, what you are Googling. So just a minute, while you are annotating. Okay, good. So now let's assume you have passed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, you have passed 5 numbers in this array. Okay, now it will do first it will be 0, the sum will be 0, and now first iteration, the I value will be 1 will be picked here. So 0
Mm.
plus 1 will be 1. So the sum value will be 1. So it will be assigned to 1 here. Now, and the second iteration, the I value will be 2. So a of I will be 2, sum will be already 1. So 1 plus 2 is now 3. So sum value gets assigned as 3. So you will iterate till the end, and then you will get the sum. So that is 9, 12, 14, and 15. So you'll get the sum value as 15. So let's say I am doing s out and print the sum at the end after the for loop. And let's comment out all these things, or maybe I'll create one more test method. Public void, maybe Varargs test. I'll tell you exactly where it will be beneficial. But these are all things like many people don't know, right? But still, you guys can learn this. Okay, let's say I need to pass add method. I need to pass an array of integers. Okay, so first I'll declare them. So int array, let's say equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and this add method I will pass a. Okay, now let's try to run it. It should print 15. So now it is printing 15. So first, initially we thought we will create methods like add, we will pass number of parameters. But the problem is if you pass a lot of numbers, you cannot keep creating overloaded methods with a different number of parameters. That's the first problem. So we cannot keep doing it. So what I thought, okay, I'll create an add. Okay, suppose if I just pass only one number, okay, or two numbers, then also this code will work. Okay, this particular method will work for everything,
Mm.
right? So whether you pass only one, whether you pass two numbers, we pass three numbers, whether you pass four numbers, everything it will work. But what is the problem here? Okay, the problem is you need to actually create an integer array and then you need to pass it. Okay, but if you want to on the flow, you want to pass it. Okay, let's say I just make a small change here. Okay, and then I keep 3 dots. Okay, okay, the code remains the same. Okay, let's see what's
Mhm.
happening. So this also still works. Okay, so basically the 3 dots indicates it's an integer array, but the one advantage is you can on the flow you can decide. See, now it is telling int 3 dot. Okay, which means you can just pass 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever you want to do directly. Okay, you don't have to
Mm.
create an integer array and then pass it. Okay, whatever the arguments you want to pass, just pass it. I will handle it. Okay, the instead of just integer array, we are putting int dot dot dot, which means It is called as int Varargs. Variable argument. You can pass any number of arguments you want. I can handle it. Okay, that's a variable argument
Okay.
syntax. Okay, so now if I remove all these things, I don't need. So now see, I haven't declared integer array here. I just
Yes.
directly on the flow, I told what is the number of elements I want to do the sum. Okay, so this is a pretty good advantage of using variable arguments. Okay, so this still works, and they also used variable arguments here, right? So if you notice, object 3 dot dot. So instead of int, they used
Yeah.
object.
Object.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are passing variable arguments of object type. So you can pass any object you want. Okay, but in that he is going to pick. He's going to pick the zeroth argument, and then it's going to click on. So zeroth argument is the element,
Element.
and then it is going to click on that element. Okay, so as
No.
simple as that. Okay, but not many people knows or understand this. Even if you don't understand, that's absolutely fine, because you know this is just a JavaScript command, so you're not expected to know all these things. But if you know, that's well and good. But even if you go for an interview, I know nobody will ask you that, because they don't know how these things work. Okay, so yeah, so maybe I started up teaching something, but ended up teaching variable arguments. Any doubts in this variable arguments?
No. No. All clear now. Thank you.
Okay, any doubts from anyone else?
And more than that, JavaScript executor, actually, we are working on the zeroth one only. Else will be the first one. Then actually, why the need of passing multiple.
So this is JavaScript command. Okay, I'm not a JavaScript creator, so it is it is just a JavaScript
By
command. Yeah, I'm not the creator of this. So it's not that always they will pass only one. Okay, suppose they want to do something else, they may pass multiple arguments. Okay, that's what I told. Here you can also pass only one. Okay, so you don't need these methods at all. With just one thing you can handle it. Okay, they can just pass, I want to sum just 4. Okay, which means we will return only 4, right? We assume we want to sum only 4, so the answer will be 4, right? Sometimes they want to pass one more arguments. Okay, so sometimes they may pass one more, right? Say that they are not sure what and all arguments they want to pass. I don't know why they have created as a object array, right? Object array means why they want to get all the elements. Okay, maybe they can do something else, but I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know what they will pass. Okay, maybe they will pass element 1 here. Okay, I don't know all these things. Okay, but what they
anyway,
will do.
can do a single. We can do operation for a single element.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe let's try it out. Maybe element 1, let's create one more um as a line. That's, let's say, I'll create one more. Let's call it as element 1, and instead of that we will use a careers page here. Okay, let's see what's happening. I don't know, I'm just trying it out. Okay, now I passed 2 arguments, and I mentioned, okay, click the arguments of first argument. So this is the 0th index, this is the first index. Let's see whether it is clicking careers or it's clicking us. Again, yes, these are all things that you don't have to really worry about, but yeah, some people are asking doubts. So yeah, so guys, if you notice, it is clicking on careers page, right? So if you notice, this has clicked on careers page. This is what we told. So if you pass multiple arguments, if you want to click the first argument, you can pass arguments of 1. Otherwise you can pass arguments of 0, right? Got it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so even this is a new learning for me, but yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then so we have learned about JavaScript executor, how we can do scrolling and all that. Same way you can also do send keys and all that, guys. Okay, maybe how to do send keys with the JavaScript executor. You can Google, you will get the script. If some send keys is not working for you, you can use JavaScript executor. Okay, now also, what about taking a screenshot? Okay, I want no, you have never spoken about taking a screenshot. Okay, I want to take a screenshot after something. Okay, maybe after clicking on this element, I want to take a screenshot. Okay, how will I do that? Okay, Again, I told how we have a JavaScript executor. This is for your native JavaScript commands, okay, JS commands. Same way, we have another interface that is called as TakesScreenshot that helps to take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. Let's try to do it. Okay, so what I can do basically, let's say I will after clicking on this, I want to take a screenshot. Let's say for that, again, this is just a 2 lines of code. Again, we need to do the downcasting. So there is a take screenshot interface. I need to convert my driver reference to take screenshot. Okay, previously it was WebDriver reference. Okay, if you notice, this was WebDriver reference. I converted into JavaScript executor reference. Now I'm converting it to take screenshot reference. And let me introduce a new variable. Okay, and this is, let's say, take screenshot, whatever the name you want. And you can, it's okay that you don't have to give the this is not mandatory. Okay, now take screenshot dot. Okay, there is a method called as get screenshot as. Okay, which will help you to take a screenshot. Okay, now get screenshot as, and how you want. Okay, there are different ways. First is file. If you want to take it as a PNG file or JPG file, you can use that. We will also learn about base 64 and bytes in the later point of time, but for now we'll try to create it as a file. So if you want to create it as a file, again guys, this will basically give me uh, so I don't know whether you are following me very carefully. That I don't know what is the exact return type. Okay, I'm not typing them manually. Okay, I'm not. So this we are going to take a screenshot, and then the screenshot will be a file type, right? So I'm not going and typing all this manually. File or source or something like this. Okay, I'm not typing this manually. What I'm doing, I know I am just utilizing the IntelliJ IDE and then creating them. So maybe two things. First, you can press alt and enter in your keyboard, and then there is a option called as introduce new local variable. You can use that to create it, and then you choose it. It's suggesting you some names. You can choose some names, or you can type your own name. Okay, that's fine. Or there is also a way where you can do dot var. Okay, if you do dot var, which means it will create a variable for you. Okay, let's see. Now also it's telling file, and then I don't like the name, so I'll use name as source. Okay, so these are the different ways how we can speed up your coding. Okay, you are not spending time to understand what it is. Okay, so now we have a screen, we have taken the screenshot, so it is now stored in the memory. Okay, let's say this is in memory. Okay, somewhere in the memory it is there, but I want to see it in particular location. Let's say I want to see it in the test folder. Okay, in the test folder, I want to see it somewhere here. Okay, now let's also create a target location where we want to store it. The target location is, I want to create a new file in the target location of where I want to do. I want to create in my current directory, user.dar, and inside that folder, I will put a slash, which means inside this folder, I want to create abcd.png. Okay, that's it, guys. So now this is a source. It is now took the screenshot and stored in the memory. Now from the memory, we want to actually have it here, right? Because if it's in memory, how we can view it? We cannot view it. So you want to display it somewhere in the path so that we can able to see the screenshot is taken fine or not. So for that, so now I need to move a file from this location to this location. So that's the name. So from the source, I want to move this to target so that I can view it properly. So to move it, okay, we have a class called file utils in Apache Commons IO. Okay, and if you type a dot, okay, you will get copy file. Okay, so now if you notice, the copy file method is taking the source location and the destination location. Okay, so I can use this. The source is this and the target is this. Now it is telling, hey, when you try to copy a file from one location to another location, you may get some exception. That's fine. We will learn about location, but for now, just click on OK. So it throws that exception. So let's comment out all this code and see whether everything is working fine. Okay, maybe after clicking on the element, it needs to take the screenshot. Okay, let's see what's happening. Okay, if you notice, test is getting executed. So if you notice, there is an abcd.png. So this is a file name that we have given. So it has actually taken a screenshot. Let's open this and see what's happening. So guys, exactly after clicking the click button, it has took a screenshot. Okay, so that's how you can take a screenshot. Okay, now if you create a report, you can attach it in this particular report and then you can send it to your stakeholders. Okay, so what I was trying to cover here today is how downcasting is being used in Selenium world, right? So this is one of the downcasting where you are converting your WebDriver reference, okay, WebDriver reference into your JavaScript executor reference. Okay, the same way WebDriver reference here is getting converted to text screenshot reference. If you notice, this is a type of text screenshot. Okay, so this is how we can take screenshot. Again, guys, you don't really need to understand. Maybe if you're not understanding, that's okay, but it should not stop you from doing the scroll operations or taking screenshot. Okay, just okay, if you don't understand, just memory it for now. Okay, you can muck up it for now, but yeah, you can understand it more clearly while you start to use for a very long period of time. Okay, so that doesn't matter. And I have told about this and all, we are doing downcasting and all that. Maybe in the previous example with the help of inheritance, you have clearly understood. Okay, so there is a dog class, there is animal class, there is a domestic animal. Okay, there was a hierarchy that you could easily understand. Okay, maybe this is not the one in the inheritance. Okay, you have animal class, and then you have domestic animal, and then you have dog, right? So this is a hierarchy. You can understand the hierarchy here. Okay, but how is this WebDriver hierarchy? I don't understand it. Amudan, even though you are using it. Okay, so I want to open a new file, whatever I used. So I go here. So you mentioned this JavaScript executor, but where this hierarchy? Okay, I do not understand how WebDriver is related to JavaScript executor. So this hierarchy, the image looks something like this. Okay, guys, this image I picked it from seleniumeasy.com. So now, okay, what's here? Okay, if you notice, this is a WebDriver reference that we are using all the time. Okay, so it basically gets. So if you notice, this arrow mark indicates its extends. So WebDriver interface extends the search context interface. Okay, and then there is a remote WebDriver, that is a class. Okay, if you notice, anything that is in round class, round, the square, rectangular shape, it's a class. Okay, anything that is in this trapezoid shape is basically your the interface, right? And there is a class called as remote WebDriver that implements all these methods. Okay, there are a lot of methods in the WebDriver interface. Let's go and open the particular thing. So maybe you can go and click on it, or you can do double shift. You can press double shift, and then you can search for WebDriver. Okay, and then go to the classes here, and if you notice, this is the one you are looking for. So this interface WebDriver has a lot of abstract methods, right? We have seen what is an abstract methods, right? These are all abstract methods. And these abstract methods, the implementation is basically provided in remote WebDriver class. Okay, so if you notice, this is the remote WebDriver. Notice most of the implementations are provided here. Okay, so init. So if you want to do init, set file locator, start session, all this code, the implementation for those abstract methods are given here. Okay, guys, if you notice, this dot execute get title. So get title is basically getting the title. They are basically using kind of a JavaScript here, right? So if you notice, they're getting the current URL and all that. Okay, so if you want to take a screenshot, okay, if you notice, this is the implementation. They have provided the implementation here, right? And yeah, so that's the remote WebDriver class, which provides most of the implementations. Okay, and this remote WebDriver is extended by Chrome driver, your Firefox driver, your Edge driver, your Safari driver, and all the other different drivers. But if you notice, there is something called as JavaScript executor here. There is something called as TakesScreenshot here. So these are all things that we used. So we have previously used WebDriver driver equal to new Chrome driver. Now, if you want to use some methods that are present in JavaScript executor, that is, if you want to use execute script, and async execute script, you have to convert this into JavaScript executor type. That's the reason why we performed the downcasting. The same way, if you want to use get screenshot as method, we have to downcast this WebDriver reference to take screenshot, so that we can use the get screenshot as method. So this is how it is, why we are using the downcasting to take screenshot and scrolling down. Okay, people may ask you in an interview, but this is not a really important interview question. Okay, but yeah, they may ask you in an interview. So that's all about it for today. If you guys have any doubts, you can ask me now. Otherwise, we'll close the session.
I have one doubt.
Okay. Okay.
Right now you are creating the reference of WebDriver interface and downcasting it for taking a screenshot and JavaScript executor. So if we will create a reference of remote WebDriver only, so I don't we don't need to do the downcasting then.
Yeah, we will see why we are not doing that way
Okay.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
takes a
okay.
little bit of time to explain. That's a very important interview question. We will answer it tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So any other doubts? We are taking baby steps. Okay, we are not jumping. Okay, I'll try to explain some Java concepts. I'll try to use it in Selenium. Okay, we'll go a little bit slowly, but yeah, we will cover all the topics. Okay, slowly. Don't worry. So tomorrow we will cover that.
Sure, Aman.
No, sorry, not tomorrow. When I mean tomorrow, it's on Friday, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me stop the